Alrighty, guys. So I wasn't originally going to do a segment on this because if the headline was simply Charlie Cox doesn't like one of the episodes of Daredevil Born Again, I mean, sure, a little bit of transparency from an actor. You know, they usually don't talk about the things they don't like for good reason. I think they want to support the people who made them, and usually if they don't like the movies that they're in or whatnot, they still probably had a good time. They had a good experience, and they love the directors and writers and all that kind of stuff. So usually you don't hear actors talking about the fact that they don't like one of the episodes of TV that they were in or the movie that they were in. That's totally fine. It's not, segment, breaking news, or it's not anything like that. But then, as I was reading these quotes from Charlie Cox, he actually says something that is so... I just want to talk about it because it's so amazing to hear him say this, and I think I just love the way that he's framing this. So, the headline, right? The headline that's going around. Charlie Cox doesn't like one of the episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Spoiler alert, I don't either. It's perhaps my least favorite episode of Daredevil. It is my least favorite episode of Daredevil Born Again. It's probably one of my... I'm not going to say least favorite episodes of Marvel television ever, but it's certainly, it's in the conversations with the Lamentis episode in Loki Season 1, for example, for me personally, and the finale of Loki Season 1, which I really don't like. I don't dislike this episode. He's talking about the bank heist episode 5, the one with Mr. Khan. And he talks about why. But then, and again, I want to make this clear, this is not the point of this segment, actually. It's more so to talk about what he says afterwards, which I love. I love this, and it's in line with what I've been saying for so many years now, and I love this. So let's read these comments here, and then we'll go through what he has to say about them. So he's talking about the bank heist episode, and he says, quote, "I don't know if this is of interest, but I will say this: amongst all of these, talking about the episodes, there was one episode we didn't change at all. It's the episode in the bank with interest in parentheses, and that was part of the original shoot. We shot that before the strike. That was part of the original, and just for my money, I wasn't into it. I didn't like it. It was my least favorite of the episodes, and I kind of pushed back against it as much as I felt was possible. I said, I don't believe in a bank heist in 2025. That feels like a 1970s game. Too much technology these days for that to work. And also, I didn't think the actual device used for the theft was sophisticated enough. I really pushed back on the episode, and yet I hear from so many people that they love that episode." Okay, here's where the pivot comes. So, because again, the first part of it I agree with, but let's hear the pivot. He continues, quote, "So it just goes to show you just don't know. It's so subjective. Everyone's taste is different. And I've heard that the episode is one of the highest rated. Internally, when they do their ratings, it's one of the highest rated Disney Plus shows, I think he meant episodes, that they've had. Not to say anything about our previous runners," and he's just talking about the previous writers, "who are tremendous writers and didn't, but they were hired to do a specific job. And it was then decided that the direction was not the right direction. So it made sense, therefore, to kind of hire someone who was more closely related to the Marvel universe, particularly in the Marvel Netflix days when the serialized element of it was familiar to them." Okay, so again, top of this segment, top of this quote. He doesn't like the bank heist episode. Guess what? I don't either. I think it's ridiculous. I think that you can go back and listen to me talk about it in a full spoiler discussion. I think the Irish bank robbers are just so cringy, honestly. And I don't know. I mean, I like parts of it. I like Mr. Khan in it in general. I like the fact that he's using his powers to break into the bank vault and whatnot. But you can just tell it's different. I hate it. I said this at the time. I hated the end of the episode where, not the part where he says, I want to go meet Kamala Khan someday. That part I hope does happen on Marvel television. That's great. But the part where he, the diamond is left in that little candy jar with Mr. Khan, and it's almost like, hey, wink and a nod, and then, that's all, folks. It's like, that's the end of the episode. I hated that. But people seem to like the episode. People seem to really like the episode, and Charlie Cox is saying internally it did really, really well. And what he's saying here is not, oh, you're all wrong. I think the episode is bad and I don't like it, and if you say you like it, you're wrong. Listen to this. So it just goes, I'm reading the quote again. Quote, "So it just goes to show you just don't know. It's so subjective. Everyone's taste is different." And this is what I've been saying for so long. This is why we have these conversations, right? Because if I just go out there and say something about a particular episode or a particular movie and say, I don't like it, and then I go in the comments and people, again, comment, and I love hearing your guys' comments. You guys comment, I really liked it, and you didn't like it. That's great. You say, I like this episode, and you guys say, I didn't like the episode. That's great. If I went out there and pushed my own personal opinion, and this is coming from Charlie Cox, the person who produced the show, who was starring in the show, who had some say in the show, and he's like, look, I didn't like it. I pushed back on the episode. Lo and behold, it's one of the highest rated episodes we've had. that doesn't, again, it's not a one-to-one in terms of general quality, right? It doesn't, maybe it was at the time when the peak of the show was happening. I don't know. There were so many different things that could have contributed to that. But I think the sentiment here is what I really wanted to talk about. Is just the fact that, look, we don't know. All we can do is talk about our own opinions, back it up with what it means to us, why we think certain things, that it doesn't negate criticism, it doesn't negate film criticism and film discussion, not at all. But it also leaves the door open for subjectivity, it leaves the door open for conversation, it leaves the door open to different people having different experiences with the same piece of art. So I wanted to talk about this because I love what Charlie Cox has to say about this. He's very honest. He's like, I don't like the episode. And he's also like, but other people do. And he celebrates that. And I think that that is so great to hear from Charlie Cox. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. You guys might think differently. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below.